Sexy lady.
Forgive me if I repeat myself, Miss Brown, but it's good to see you back.
Thank you, Mr. Carson.
Pete, I just have to disagree with you. The Minnesota multiphaser clearly shows that Arnie Rothman basically has a stable personality.
Liz, you see a bunch of numbers on paper, right? Well, I see a kid in class who never stops scratching.
Now, Arnie is nervous, but the boy I tested is not emotionally disturbed.
The boy in my class is.
Well, the boy and me would like his breakfast, so if you two don't mind, I will now put in my 2 cents.
That's why we're here.
Now, I've gone over his records. I agree with you. We should schedule him with our visiting psychologist whenever that learned gentleman chooses to make himself available. I think we should keep a close eye on him, but I think we should give it a month before we schedule any special schooling. Now, does that make everybody happy, or you want to fight some more?
Fight?
Who's fighting?
Good. I believe in less fighting and more reading. I'll be in the cafeteria. That's what I say. I'll be right here. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Kaufman. Am I disturbing you?
No, not a bit. But come in, Miss Brown. You look great.
Thank you.
You're just in time to meet your department head, Pete Dixon. Diana Brown.
How do you do?
Hello,
Miss
Mr. Dixon.
McIntyre, Diana Brown.
Hi, how are you? Well, I just dropped by to say hello.
Good.
See you later.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Miss
Thank you.
Brown. You know something? That young woman was one of the most exciting teachers we ever had in this school.
Why'd she leave?
The usual, to get married, of course.
Oh, then it's Mrs. Brown.
Not exactly. She's going through a divorce right now.
Oh.
She's going to be taking over Mrs. Goodman's social science class while she's on maternity leave.
Oh, that's the one. I don't know where I got the idea she was a lot older.
So we see that organized labor faced stiff opposition in its early efforts to win reform. Now, let's list a few of the methods that management used to resist. Blacklist, yellow dog contracts. Foxy.
Quiet, man. You're interfering with my concentration.
Lockout. Now, the gentleman that thinks I'm Foxy. What is a yellow dog contract?
She got you there, brother.
I didn't read that page last night. Did anyone? Helen.
A yellow dog contract was a written agreement that a worker had to sign when he went for a job, promising he wouldn't join a union.
Very good. You see, those people must have really been in a bind. Yes? Suppose you were the sole support of a large family, and the only way that you could feed your kids was to sign a contract that would make you look like a fink to your friends. How would you feel?
I don't know.
Well, you do have feelings, don't you? Or is that optional equipment in your case?
Hey, my man Bernie figures he's got 2 eyes, 2 ears. He's ahead of the game.
Okay, Big Daddy, stand up. Let's see how you stack up. Come on here. Come on, stand up. We're going to have a little psychodrama. Larry, go to my desk. You too. The year is 1910. You are a foreman in a steel mill. You have strict orders to issue no union contracts. Jason, you're a European immigrant with 6 kids.
We don't tell my mama she ain't ready for that.
I'm grading on this little exercise, folks. Okay, Jason, you need a job? Go to it.
What do you want me to do?
You don't know? You lost the job. Sit down. Pam, would you like to try?
Okay. I understand you need some steel workers.
Yeah? You got experience?
Oh, yeah. I've worked in the steel mills all over.
Well, that's cool. You got the job.
Ask about the union.
Okay, Larry, back to the bread lines for you. What's your name?
Arnie Rothman.
It's funny. According to my seating chart, you're Sylvia Bernstein.
Sylvia moved.
Oh, excuse me, Sylvia moved. Would you like to be foreman? Helen?
I see here that you're experienced. Did you ever belong to a union?
Oh, no, no, sir.
Oh, good. Then if you want to work here, you have to sign this paper.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, what do you think of that, workers?
It's big. Don't sign it.
What do you mean, don't sign? What are my kids supposed to eat? Pride?
Okay, thank you very much, girls. Reach after 10 tonight. See you tomorrow. Oh, I appreciate your cooperation, girls. Thanks again.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Boy, are you really on a diet today? Would anyone care to discuss the weather? Not me. I want to talk about Miss Brown like everybody else. Boy, she sure is good looking. You know, if I were 5 years older, I'd really be jealous. Well, better get my lunch. Toodles.
Helen, near perfect as usual. Pam, I like the way you phrase things. Jason, buy a dictionary. Bernie, you and Jason must have learned how to spell out of the same comic book. Arnie, what can I say to you about this assignment? I mean, where do I begin? Spelling, punctuation, grammar are abominable. Research, non-existent. Try it again, Arnie. I won't even grade you on that. I mean, I can't. The alphabet doesn't go that low.
Okay, for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be discussing some contemporary American problems.
Women.
Okay. Starting tomorrow, we'll discuss women as a contemporary problem.
Well, Mr. Dixon, I don't think that women are the problem. I think it's men understanding where we are instead of where they want us to be.
Okay, Pam. Then you research the changing role of women. Anybody else?
How about the effects of desegregation?
Okay, that's good. That'll be your assignment tomorrow. Well, anybody else? Seem to be having a ladies' day here today. Bernie, nothing from you? Arnie? Okay, see what you can come up with tomorrow. Jason, can I see you a minute?
Yeah.
What's going on?
That new teacher, Miss Brown.
What about her?
She's one mean, hard-nosed lady. She's got it in for us, Mr. Dixon.
Us?
The fellas. And her class is a drag.
I don't know how or why, but she's demoralizing the boys.
Pete, that just doesn't sound like Diana. Are you sure it's her fault?
I haven't seen it for myself. But she teaches the class before mine, and the boys are coming in like a bunch of whipped puppies.
Look, Pete, you know, I suspect Diana's been through a pretty rough time. I understand that divorce of hers was pretty messy. Why don't we be a little patient with her? Give her time to make some adjustments.
I'm sorry, but the classroom is not a place for a teacher to work out her personal problems.
I agree. Well, let me tell you something. I have sat behind that desk and watched a lot of teachers come in and out of this place. Some are better than others, but you very rarely get a great one. Diana was a great teacher. I want to keep her here.
What if she isn't a great teacher anymore?
Pete, I'm asking for your cooperation. Let's give her a little time.
Okay.
What do you mean you forgot your hall pass? You never had one to begin with, Arnie. We both know it. You were trying to sneak out.
I don't feel good. I want to go home.
Oh, be Mark, yes, Mama's boy. But first of all, you march yourself down to the attendance office and get an excuse slip like everyone else has to.
Arnie? Do you think you were being a little rough on him?
There's This isn't a nursery school, Mr. Dixon. And Arnie does graduate in a year. It's about time he shaped up.
Okay. But all of our kids don't have the same levels of maturity, especially Arnie. So ease up, Miss Brown. And that goes for the rest of the boys you've been writing, too.
You're the head of the department, Mr. Dixon. But I didn't know that Whitman was giving out diplomas in spinelessness this year.
I think we should have a talk about your attitude.
And I think we should have a talk about yours, Mr. Dixon. I mean, it's really terrific the way you get down with your kids. The only trouble is when someone makes some real demands upon them, they don't know how to behave. I mean, your self-indulgent little schoolboys get all shook up when a mean lady teacher tries to make them behave like men. And you know why? Because Mr. Dixon doesn't talk to them that way. Because Mr. Dixon is their chum.
Are you finished?
What's price popularity?
Pizza dinner's getting cold.
Incredible.
Pete, you should have told me you didn't like Italian food.
Liz, do you realize what I'm stuck with? She decimates Arnie, she tears Jason down along with the rest of the boys, and I am supposed to help Mr. Kaufman keep her in school.
Pete, it isn't every night that I make gnocchi alla Genovese. In fact, it isn't every night I can pronounce it. Now, will you please eat? Good?
Mr. Kaufman?
Pete, I'm on to something.
Yeah, me too. How much time do you plan on giving Miss Brown?
Before what?
Before you or I deal with her behavior.
Good morning, Mr. Kaufman.
Good morning, Miss Brown. Pete, about what we were just saying. There's no time like the present. I will not believe that two good people cannot work out their problems. Folks, I have to run along. Have a good day.
Okay. I have it coming. Yell back at me.
I don't intend to yell. I do want to tell you something. I have a feeling that some doctor told you that by going back to work, it would be good therapy for you. Well, it might be good for you, but it is a disaster for everyone else you come in contact with.
I was prepared for yelling. I didn't know we were getting into karate.
You are destroying the morale of my boys. And in the case of Arnie Rothman, you might be doing some very serious damage. Now, maybe you got so burned by one man that you decided to take revenge on the rest. Okay, that's your problem. Except now the targets aren't men, they're boys. And they shouldn't have to deal with your hang-up. Knock it off, Miss Brown.
You don't have a thing about shoes, and I need your opinion.
Okay, but you're gonna buy what you want to anyway.
Well,
Oh, Mr. Dixon, could I talk to you for just a minute?
Sure.
I'll wait for you outside.
I was up half the night thinking about what you said. You were right. You know, you really blew my mind yesterday. It's been a long time since anyone has cared about what I was doing or had the courage to take a position. You know, we're raised on Snow White and Prince Charming, but no one ever tells you how much a man and a woman can hurt each other.
Sometimes reality can be a shock.
I didn't realize I was dumping my feelings on the boys.
Maybe you didn't. But I had to tell you about it before I went too far.
Thanks for yelling at me. That's all I really wanted to say.
See you tomorrow?
You bet.
Good morning.
Oh, hi. Hey, did you get a notice about the rise in the group insurance rates?
I hope not, but I didn't look yet.
I think they're trying to tell us something.
Oh, Pete, I got hold of a book last night with the most incredible political concepts. I got so excited about it, I tried to call you, but...
Well, I have a class on Wednesdays.
I'd like to talk to you about it. I mean, I want to use it right away. I'll walk you to your class. Arnie, my boy, I begin to see a glimmer of hope. This paper was done by a student that cares.
Well, who'd he get to do it for him?
We'll get to your problem in a minute, Bernie.
Hi.
Oh,
I called you last night.
you did?
Liz. What's wrong?
Nothing. I mean, I don't care if half the school thinks there's something going on between you and Diana Brown. I know better.
Well, if you know better, then why the freeze?
And if I'm uncomfortable because of the way it looks to other people, I guess that's just my problem, huh?
Well, it's your problem. It's mine, too.
Hi. What? One of these days you're going to qualify for the Magician's Logo. I don't know what you said to Diana Brown, but whatever it was perfect. Jason's walking around the hall smiling from wrist to wrist, and that boy, what's his name, Arnie Rothman, he's hardly scratching at all anymore. It's fantastic. I told you, it'd just be a matter of time before you two were good friends. Diana was always one of the most loving people you ever want to meet. Does anybody hear a very large silence?
Pass the pepper, please.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, has anyone seen Miss Brown today? She's absolutely radiant, all lit up from inside. You know what I think? I think Miss Brown's in love. She's all the signs. She's blooming.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Liz, wait a minute.
What?
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, if it's so ridiculous, why don't you clear it up?
Because there's nothing to clear up.
Well, yes, there is, Pete. Or can't you see it? Or maybe you're so flattered by the whole thing, you just don't want to see it.
Oh, Pete, listen, friend, you're pretty good in the truth department. Would you shine a little light on me?
If I can.
Do you think I'm in love with you?
No. Why?
It's funny. I was beginning to think I was.
But you've only known me 5 days.
Yes, I know, but I haven't exactly been operating out of logic, have I? And I don't think now is the time for me to be in teaching.
Well, you may be right, but have you given it a lot of thought?
This is a test paper that I can't return to the student because I was doodling over it all day in class. Like a teenager. I think you should see it. I'm too good a teacher to be as bad as I've been this week.
Diane, you're very sure about this?
Very. But at the spot here next year, I'll come back if you want me.
We want you. How about now? Well, good luck, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
So you're going to do it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Come back.
When I'm ready.
You were right.
About what?
Mrs. Pete Dixon. Diana Dixon. Mrs. Diana Brown Dixon. Boy, she was really getting carried away.
Liz.
I mean, of all the nerve. And in just 1 week.
Liz.
Oh, oops. I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry for most of the things that have happened today. But, on the other hand, by the looks of you two, looks like everything's okay. So, I'll just get out.
Hey, y'all, if Mr. Dixon's substitute don't show up soon, this class will be over. I vote we take a quick recess.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You know, the way I see it, if Mr. Dixon can take a whole week at that teacher's conference, I don't see why I can't take me a vacation, too.
Man, you're always on vacation.
Hey, sweetheart, I just don't happen to dig history, okay? History don't exactly dig me either.
Or science, or math, or English.
Well, when was the last time something really unusual happened in this robot factory?
That's a very interesting thought, young man. I hope you'll forgive my tardiness, but the blasted kite got caught up in a tree. But not before the most amazing scientific discovery occurred. Does the word electricity mean anything to you?
Now, that can't be Mr. Dixon, sir.
More like the hired old Benjamin Franklin.
Well, I surprised you, did I? Well, history will, you know, if you read it. But why read it? I didn't. I did it. Yes, I made it. We must hang together, or most assuredly, we shall hang separately. Yes, I like that. Yes. And that other phrase Tom Jefferson and I came up with, government of the people, by the people.
And, for the people.
Yes. Oh, that has a catchy ring to it. You don't mind if I use that?
Oh, anytime. Glad to help out.
By the way, my name is Roy Hemmings, and as if you hadn't guessed already, I'm subbing for Mr. Dixon this week.
Mr. Hemmings? I'm Dennis Wormser. They have me on probation for my terrific grades. Miss McIntyre said she was going to speak to you.
Oh, well, I tried to explain to Miss McIntyre that I'm not your regular teacher. I'm just a substitute.
Well, man, if anyone can get me through these exams, you can. I mean, like, I can already tell you're the best teacher I've ever seen in this school. And, well, I've never asked for special help before, so... Would you?
Well, of course, dear boy, yes. You come back tomorrow and we shall dispel your sorrow.
Thanks, Mr. Hemmings. Thanks a lot.
I don't have to tell you how hard it is to find an inspiring teacher. I've got my fingers crossed that Hemmings is going to work out.
Well, you sound pretty hot on the guy.
Well, of course, his approach is unorthodox, to say the least. But I'm hoping he'll settle down into a pattern. Any kind of a pattern. Fortunately for us, the guy's got 3 master's degrees and about a half of a PhD. So this week, I switched him over to English Lit to take over from Miss Avery, who is in the middle of her 5th flu this semester. Now, if he gets through that unscathed...
Look, there's Bill.
Oh, by the way, welcome back.
Thanks a lot.
Oh!
Hey, how you doing, love?
Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Mail. Pete, there's something I wanted to talk to you about before you go to class.
Mr. Kaufman just clued me in. My substitute stole the show.
Well, that seems to be the consensus of opinion. But I've seen so many of these quick flashes. You know, I badgered him all week about helping Denny, and he didn't keep one appointment.
Well, did he say why?
Yeah, he said he was a free spirit who didn't do well under tedious routine. I wouldn't be so worried if it weren't so close to exams. And if I didn't find the outline you left him lying by the wastebasket.
Well, maybe it just blew off on the floor.
Oh, no. He missed his throw.
A quiz? We didn't know anything about a quiz, Mr. Dixon.
Okay, I thought you scheduled it for next week.
The quiz was scheduled for today, and you've known about it for 3 weeks.
This is about the Federalist Papers. Now, if you want to know about the personal life of Ben Franklin...
Or the fact that George Washington had wooden teeth.
Or how many spools of thread Betsy Ross used to make the first American flag.
Well, I'm only interested in the Federalist Papers. You did read those chapters, didn't you?
Oh.
Okay, get started. We've only got an hour. check tells me that we've got our work cut out for us. Everybody turn their paper? Denny? What's that all about?
I'll mark my grade myself. Save you trouble. I got an F.
Oh, Mr. Dixon, you're not gonna count this one little old quiz, are you?
Yeah, you, kind of snuck up on us with this one.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll schedule a special tutoring session after school at 3 o'clock. Is that fair enough?
Can hardly wait.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon. Got any extra seats for me?
I'm sure we can squeeze you in somewhere, Jason. You wouldn't happen to know where the others are, would you?
Yeah, I know where they are. Hey, Mr. Dixon, if I tip you to something, will you get uptight?
Go ahead.
You ever thought about jiving a little bit more? You know, like Hemmings do.
I may have thought about it, Jason, but it's not my way. You see, when it starts to getting close to exams, I find it necessary to bear down a little harder than usual, even though it doesn't make me the most popular teacher in the school.
I can dig it.
Jason, where are the others?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
All I'm suggesting you do is have a talk with him. Some of my best students failed that quiz because he didn't follow the outline I gave. I gave a special tutoring session after school, and only 3 kids showed up. The rest were too busy listening to his readings of Shakespeare.
I don't blame you for being annoyed, Pete. I think your reasons are valid.
I should have come to you last week when I first saw what was happening. And today, he even failed to give a scheduled exam in English Lit and then swore the class to secrecy.
How did you find out?
You ever know a Whitman class to keep a secret?
He's a hero to the kids at their own expense. Now, I can't very well be angry at them, but somebody's going to have to straighten them out.
I think you're right, Pete. I think the time has come for Seymour Kaufman's famous little serious chat with a new teacher. My luck, he'll come in here dressed like Attila the Hun.
Bring them close. Don't let them touch.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, it never fails.
Cured many hiccupers in your day?
Oh, a few, but none as beautiful as you are.
Hi, Alice.
Oh, hi, Liz.
Mr. Hemmings, Mr. Kaufman would like to see you.
Me? You sure he wants to see me?
You or some facsimile.
Well, thank you.
Come in.
You, wanted to see me, Mr. Kaufman?
Yes, Mr. Hemmings, come in. By the way, for my sake, please relax. This isn't an inquisition. I'd just like to have a little talk to kind of iron out any problems we might have. Have a seat.
Well, before you start, let me guess. I'm failing the audition, aren't I? No, you can level with me. Who complained? Was it Miss McIntyre? No, it was Mr. Dixon, wasn't it? Well, I always knew he was the jealous kind.
Nobody's jealous, Mr. Hemmings. On the contrary, we're pleased. I might even say eternally grateful when a new teacher shows merit. I think you have merit. You're a stimulating teacher. I like that.
But you'd prefer that I conform to the system, fit the mold, don't upstage the regulars, huh?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I would prefer when you make an appointment to counsel a student who needs help, that you would keep that appointment. And I would prefer that you stick to the curriculum.
Hemmings bombs again.
Mr. Hemmings, We seem to be having a little difficulty communicating here. All I'm trying to say is that I think you have the makings of a first-rate teacher. And what I want you to do is to take that bag of tricks of yours and use it to really teach. Now, if you can get yourself to do just that much, the next time you're in this office, I might be offering you a full-time job.
Really? Well, I'm not sure I'd be all that interested in something full-time.
Well, don't lose any sleep over it. I haven't offered it yet.
Alice.
Hi.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure, what is it?
Well, what I thought would happen has happened. The forces of conformity are gathering.
What are you talking about?
You know, shape up or ship out, band to the system, become a drone in the anthill of life.
Wait, hold it, Roy. What happened?
Kaufman dangled the carrot of a full-time job in front of my nose.
That's terrific. Congratulations.
Yes, but here's the proverbial catch. First, I have to get rid of my individuality, blend into the gray backdrop of this carbon copy profession. Well, they don't know Roy Hemmings.
Wait, Roy, I can't believe Mr. Kaufman said that.
Alice, I'm not like other men. I mean, some men travel with the pack, but I have to be free. The normal rules just don't apply to a person like me. Oh, I admit it. I'm a dreamer. I'm doomed to search forever for that perfect, elusive way. But isn't that what life's all about, really? In the struggle to remain free?
The words are good. But there's something missing. Who are you trying to convince? Me or you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, take your costume thing, for example. Personally, I think it's just absolutely terrific. But did you ever think about just playing it straight once in a while?
Where would the peacock be without its plumage? And speaking of plumage, my dear, what do you say we go strutting tonight?
No. I don't think so, Roy. Thanks for asking me. Maybe some other time.
Jenny? Oh, hi, Mr. Dixon.
I think it's about time you and I started tackling the books together. I don't need to tell you that you're about a half-inch away from getting bumped back a grade.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Dixon. I'll be okay. Thanks anyway. Mr. Hemmings is going to help me.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. He may have to wait till he finishes the last draft of his novel, but he's almost done.
And you're just going to sit around and wait for it?
Yeah. See, he and I kind of speak the same language. You know what I mean? Excuse me, Mr. Dixon. Mr. Hemmings. Hey, I thought if you had some time right now...
I'm sorry, Danny, but I don't have time. Not now, and not later.
Yeah, but you said we could get...
Danny, I think you'd better stop waiting.
Will you stop judging him? It's because you and all the other stick-the-road people around here ruined the best teacher we ever had. Hemmings?
What do you want, Dixon? Haven't you successfully undermined the opposition?
Let's get one thing straight. I didn't undermine you. You did that little trick all by yourself.
Whatever you say.
You know, it seems to me that whenever you have an audience, you have all the time in the world. But a few seconds ago, you were too busy to help a boy who idolizes you. Now, I'd like to know why.
I don't get me wrong, Dixon. I like the boy. But nobody helped me. I've got my own life. And you know yourself, you start helping one boy like that, and then they all want to crowd into your life and take every spare minute. Well, that may be your idea of something worthwhile, but I have more important things to do.
For instance?
Well, didn't they tell you? I'm writing a novel. Well, I'm going to have a gallery showing of my paintings.
I don't believe you. You know what I think? I think you're scared.
Scared? Of what?
Facing the truth about yourself.
No, I don't think that you have ever totally committed yourself to anything.
Oh, now that's not true. I'm committed to being free, to being an artist.
Then why aren't you out there doing it? Living in a garret, suffering, or whatever an artist is supposed to do. Why don't you quit kidding yourself? You know what you really are?
I'm afraid to ask.
A teacher.
But, oh, no. I just do this part-time to pick up some cash.
Oh, really? That's very strange. Your record shows that this year you've taught 63 out of 75 teaching days in 15 different schools. To me, that means you're a teacher. You see, very few substitute teachers are on the job as often as you. Now, why don't you face the reality that what you do is teach? Why don't you just settle down and do it with the same imagination and energy that you use to keep running away?
And spoil a perfectly good scenario? Now, you see, I'm rather fond of scene number 320, Mr. Dixon. You notice I have my bags packed. And that's how it ends.
Then I suggest that you don't delay the parting. As it is, we'll be busy for about a week picking up the pieces.
When you make a getaway, it's clean and swift, huh? No goodbyes, nothing.
I could say the same for your brush-up.
Listen, I hate first dates. You know, all the stiff pretensions and people trying to impress each other.
Have to start someplace.
Right, I know that, but basically I'm a sort of take your shoes off and relax kind of a date. And I just thought that, well, maybe just take you a little longer to feel comfortable with me and just be yourself. You know, no W.C. Fields and all that stuff, you know?
Is that why you turned me down?
That, and the fact you are an escape artist. If you decide to come back and stay a while, take your shoes off, well, ask me again. I'd probably say yes, Mr. Dream Chaser. See ya.
I said I want to apologize for putting you off all week. I guess I'm an expert at avoiding issues.
Yeah.
Well, if you'll give me a chance, maybe we can help each other.
I mean, you're going to be sticking around, Mr. Hemmings?
Well, for a while, at least.
Do you really think Hemmings will be able to stick to it? Miss Avery called in sick again today. I think her flu is permanent.
I don't know. He showed up today without his usual bag of tricks.
Yeah, when he said good morning, he caught himself before adding my little chickadee.
When we two parted, silence and tears, half broken-hearted to sever for years.
Mr. Hemmings, what did he look like?
That's funny you should ask, then.
Oh, here we go again.
Well, I was just going to tell you. He was tall, slender.
Well, where's the costume? Aren't you going to show us?
No, not this time. Oh. Well, perhaps some of our friends from literature will stop by and visit with us. From time to time.
morning.
Hi, Peter. Excuse me. I'm glad I caught you before you went to your first class.
So am I. Let's grab a cup of coffee.
We don't have time.
What do you mean we don't have time? 20 minutes before school starts.
Yes, but our meeting with Mr. Kaufman starts right now.
Meeting? What meeting?
The meeting Mr. Kaufman and I decided we should have with you this morning before your new student gets here.
I can't fit another student into my homeroom.
I know.
I've got kids in there now that need my individual attention, and I can't give it to them because I don't have time. You know, I get the feeling that I've made this speech before.
You did. Last week this time.
When we asked you to sponsor the debate club.
Then why?
Pete, because everyone's classes are overcrowded. I get this same speech from all of my teachers, the ones that care.
But this student is very special, and we thought he should be in your class.
Why is he special?
Because his coming here is part of an experimental program being sponsored by an organization called Opportunity for Youth.
The program's designed to help kids who are advanced but are held back by their circumstances.
I guess you might say Billy Sosi is the test case.
Billy
Sosi.
Sosi.
Billy is a Navajo Indian from a reservation in Utah. There's a family in our school district that's sponsoring him. Now, from all the reports I've read, he's overcome a lot of obstacles, and he's really an exceptional student.
Pete, I've got great hopes for this program. I know if it works here, other schools will pick it up.
That's why we put him in your class.
Okay, what were some of the other problems the settlers encountered moving west? Frank?
Yeah, well, most of those dudes were from the city and couldn't take that long, hard trip. And a lot of them died on the way. So you might say death was a problem.
Well, yeah. Sometimes the kids lost their parents on the way and had to do the best they could on their own.
True. Oh, man. If you fellas have something to add to the discussion, why don't you share it with the rest of us?
Well, we were just agreeing on what Helen had to say.
No. What did Helen say?
Well, I really didn't hear that well, but I certainly do agree on all points.
Come on, man. We can't jive the cat. Mr. Dixon, what we was trying to do is straighten out something we heard this morning.
What's that, Jason?
Oh, we heard that it was going to be this new cat coming to the school, and he was a real Navajo Indian.
Yeah, he can give us the Indian side of all that stuff we've been studying.
I'm glad to see you guys looking forward to his joining the class.
Yeah, 'cause it ain't too cool learning about the frontier out of all those textbooks, and that Indian can tell us like it really was.
Excuse me, Mr. Dixon? Come on.
He's got better timing than the cavalry.
This is Billy Sosi. Billy, I'll see you later.
Come on in, Billy. We have a seat for you right behind Bernie there.
That's me.
Billy, we were discussing the period after 1865 and the push toward the West by the settlers. I hope that you'll have something to add to it.
Hey, yeah, tell us what you think about the settlers trying to civilize the Indians. Yeah, what did you think about that?
Yeah, tell us the truth, man.
Wait a minute. Don't you think we ought to give Billy a little time to get settled first?
Billy, I know you'll like Whitman a lot. The kids are really friendly.
Say, we're going to save you a place at lunch, okay?
Yeah.
See you there.
Yeah, and if you have any problems, you just let us know, okay?
Hey, man, where's your next class?
English, Miss Johnson.
Hey, man, that's my next class, too.
Oh, yeah?
Man, I'll show you where it's at. Come on.
Oh, Billy. Nice to have you with us. Thanks.
Hey, Billy, over here. Hey, man, have a seat. We've been saving you a place.
Yeah, man, jump on in, man.
How you doing? Kemosabe? Huh? Kemosabe is a Lone Ranger. I thought it was an Indian word.
It's not a Navajo word.
Well, it just goes to show you, never trust the Lone Ranger.
How are your classes, Billy?
Oh, they're okay, I guess. Except they're very far ahead of where I was at the reservation school.
Oh, yeah? What's the reservation school like?
But
Hey, yeah, what did you major in? War paint?
it's just a school.
Why don't you speak a little Indian for us?
Say, man, why don't you get off it?
I'm only kidding.
Hey, Billy, where'd you get the silver belt?
My uncle made it.
Do you dress like that on the reservation?
Huh? Well, what she means is, nobody dresses like that unless they're on a reservation.
I did not mean that.
You want me to speak Indian? Yeah. The geese. Hey, what does that mean? It means you're crazy. Hey, wait a minute, I didn't mean anything. Hey, I was just joking.
Scott!
I can't help it if you can't take a joke.
Man, you wouldn't know a joke if it came up and hit you in your mouth.
Hey, Billy. I'm sorry for what I said at lunch today. I have a habit of saying stupid things, you know, just for a laugh.
Forget it.
By the mid-1880s, the Indian wars had ceased, and most of the Indians were gathered on the reservation. Pam, the Dawes Act of 1887, how did it tie into this period of history?
Well, it said that every Indian was entitled to some land from the government. The head of a family could claim as much as 160 acres.
160 acres? They're rich.
Yeah, but the government didn't give the Indians the land. It just sort of let them use it.
You couldn't sell it or use it as security for a mortgage or anything.
But wasn't that supposed to protect the Indian from land speculators and other people who were trying to take advantage of them?
Let's hear it for Big Brother Sam.
Yeah, it's like the government gave the Indians their own private little reservations.
Billy, what do you think?
Huh?
I said the Dawes Act was designed to protect the Indian. Do you think it did that?
Sure. I mean, that's what the book says, isn't it?
Just giving a man a piece of land doesn't make him free. I mean, it was their land in the first place.
Then what was the purpose of the Dawes Act?
To Americanize the Indian.
How do you Americanize somebody who's already an American?
Yeah, they should have been Americanizing the pale face.
It's a very interesting point, Jason. Billy, do you think the Dawes Act helped or hurt the American Indian?
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, either I said something wrong, which is kind of hard to do with just hi, or you just lost your best friend.
Not a friend, but I may have lost a student.
Who?
Billy Sosi.
Oh, no, Pete, what's wrong?
I'm not sure. I can't get him to respond in class. Oh, he answers all of my questions, but the answers are right out of a book. I know he has opinions, but he refuses to give them.
Don't tell me. You're talking about Billy Sosi, right?
Not you, too.
Can't get him to say much in my class either. And you know what else?
I'm afraid to ask.
I don't think he has any friends.
I've noticed that. You know, when he first came to this school, the kids couldn't wait to get at him. Now they hardly pay any attention to him at all. Except for Jason.
Jason?
Yeah, they're together all the time.
Well, then at least he has one friend.
Yeah.
Jason may be his friend, but as far as Billy is concerned, he's alone. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.
Jason, you go about 5 and then you go to the sideline, all right? Frank, you go 3 steps and turn around. I don't want to hear anything. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
Hey, man, wait a minute. You forgot to tell Billy where he goes.
So who cares?
Hey, man, tell him where to go.
Just go on.
Hey! man, I'm calling you Soaring Eagle, the fastest redskin on the block.
Right. That's not very funny.
Woo! Hey, circle the wagon. He's on the warpath.
Take that back.
Hey, man, what do you mean?
I said take that back.
Hey, man, what are you talking about? I didn't say nothing for you to get mad. Come on.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, man, what's wrong with you? Hey, man, what take that back? Come on, hey, man. Man.
All right.
Man, look. I don't want to... Come on, fight you, man. Come on, man. Come on. Don't fight us. Hey, man. Guess you could say it was my fault, Mr. Kaufman.
You hit him first.
Well, that's not exactly the way it went. But still, it was my fault. I said something to him that made him lose his cool. That's why he jumped on me.
I don't need your help. I started it, okay? And I don't need him or anyone else to take the blame.
Billy, Jason was just trying to be your friend.
He's always trying to help with everything. Show me to my classes. You take up for me in front of the other kids. You even tried to make me fit in with the others. Let me tell you something. I can take care of myself. I've done it all my life, and I can do it now.
Oh, Billy?
Billy? Just a minute. Why'd you do that to Jason? The only thing that he's guilty of is trying to be your friend.
He wasn't trying to be my friend. He's just like all the rest of them.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, the only reason he ever paid any attention to me, the only reason any of them ever paid any attention to me, is because I'm an Indian. A novelty. Well, I'm tired of being the Indian.
Wait a minute. You didn't give me a chance to say I was sorry yesterday.
Hey, were you going to a rain dance?
Come on, man. What are you trying to prove? Why you dress up like that?
What did you want me to wear? Everyone wants me to look like something out of a John Wayne movie. But I didn't want to disappoint them.
Man, you some kind of a weird dude. Everybody in this school try to be your friend, and all you do is get all bent out of shape.
I don't have any friends here.
You better believe it, man. It's because you won't let them. That's why.
What would you know about it? When has anybody ever stared at you because you were different? When has anybody ever not accepted you for what you are?
You're something else, man. You know that. Where do you think I come from, man? An ice cream factory? You want to know what it's like where I come from? What am I standing here talking to you for? If you can't recognize a brother, you're sure not going to be able to recognize a friend.
Wants to drop out of the program. He wants to go back to the reservation school.
Did you ask him why?
He wouldn't tell me. He just says he doesn't belong here.
What about that family he's living with? Have you spoken to them?
Yes, I did. They want to help. But it's like Billy's built a wall around himself.
Oh, there's got to be something we can do. This program is so important. I don't want to see it just go down the drain. Billy is one of a few test cases. He's... Will you listen to me? Test cases. You're not just a test case. He's a young boy. And he's given up.
Well, maybe he hasn't totally given up.
I tried every way I know to reach him. He wouldn't open up to me. You're welcome to try, Pete.
Nice out here, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
You mind if we talk a little? You missed a lot of classes today.
Yeah. I've been sitting here looking at the sky. Sometimes when I look at the sky, it reminds me of home.
That where you wish you were now?
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to like living on the reservation. When I grew a little older and it seemed like all there was dirt, I thought if I could just get away from there, I'd really be free. So I worked real hard at school, so that if I ever got the chance, I could go someplace else, you know? Be something. A somebody. When the program picked me, I thought, wow, I've really got it made now. I might as well be back with my people. I thought things would be different for me. I thought I could change the way things are. But I was wrong.
You know something, Billy? Coming here to Whitman isn't a way for you to escape. It's a way for you to do something positive. Now, if you fail or give up, don't blame it on the way things are. Blame it on yourself. You see, I think the only one who's worried about your being an Indian is you.
What do you mean? I'm proud to be a Navajo.
Then why aren't you standing up in class telling those kids about it? They're not asking you questions about the reservation to get you mad. They're interested. They want to know about your people, what they have to say. Now, if you're as proud as you say you are, you tell them.
Good morning, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, good morning, good morning. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about the Americanization of the Indian in the latter part of the 19th century. Now, can anybody tell me...
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon.
Glad you could make it. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me some of the problems that arose in trying to assimilate the Indian into the American lifestyle?
Yeah. I can't see why it would be so hard when the government just gave him the land.
Billy?
You have to understand that for generations, the Indian had been taught a different concept of land than the white man. I mean, to the Indian, land was like water or air or sunshine. He just didn't understand how someone could own that.
But I thought the Burke Act of 1906 gave the Indian the opportunity to own his own land.
No, you don't understand. You see, there was nothing in the Indians' tradition that had prepared them to be individual farmers. And those that were ready to make a change in their way of life were usually given the worst possible kind of farmland. To the Indian, land was almost sacred. Hey, Jason. Yeah. Wait up. How about to say I'm sorry for jumping you the other day?
That's okay, man. No hard feeling.
Well, looks like Billy really has a new friend now.
Yep, I'd say so.
Yeah, you know, I knew he'd work out just fine as soon as he settled into things. I figure he's just going through a phase.
You did, huh?
Sure, he just had to learn to adapt to a new environment. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can fit in right here at Walt Whitman High.
Alice. I'm going to be late for class.
Oh, you're right. Hey, see you later. Bye.
can't you?
I don't know, Alice. Can you?
Sure you can. Oh, look, there he is.
Mr. Leroy, tell us, is Donnie ready?
He's ready.
That mean we can expect a record?
He's got the record.
Not AAU, world.
Boy, imagine the pressure on that boy. You'd think it was the Olympic tryouts instead of just an ordinary league meet.
Swimmers up. Take your mark. Leroy's time for the first 100 meters, 56 and 3/10 seconds. 3/10 seconds ahead of his home AAU record. That's only 2/10 off the world mark.
What was it? Shoulder cramp? What? Why'd you quit? I don't know, Dad. What do you mean you don't know? I just quit. Had to tell him something. If I told him he just quit for no apparent reason, they'd tear him to shreds. Look what they did to Jim Ryan.
Come in. Hi, Pete.
Dixon, do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for you?
Sorry, Mr. Leroy, I just heard.
Pete, did you have any idea that Donnie was going to quit in the middle of that race yesterday?
No, I didn't. Why?
Dixon, I don't know if it's you personally or the school or what. My boy says he doesn't want to swim anymore. Now, this notion had to come from somewhere.
What did Donnie say?
That he's old enough to make his own decisions, set his own goals. Nonsense that he says came straight from you.
Mr. Leroy, outside of his studies, the only thing that your son and I ever talked about was swimming.
Then why is it he quotes you as if you were one of the big authorities over his life? Mr. Dixon says life is for living.
He probably has taken something I said in class and built a case on it.
What you say in class is not what I am concerned with. It is what the two of you must have been talking about all those afternoons when Donnie was late for practice. Now, you're not going to tell me he wasn't with you.
Yes, we were together, but I assumed you knew why.
You see, Mr. Leroy, Donnie is an average student, but with all the time he's missed this semester competing, his grades have dropped considerably. He was in danger of becoming ineligible for any outside activity, including swimming. Mr. Dixon volunteered to tutor him on his own time so that that wouldn't happen.
Well, maybe I'm wrong to blame you personally, but this decision of his had to come from somewhere. I just don't know the answer. That's why I'm here.
Didn't Donnie give you any kind of a clue that something like this was about to happen?
Well, I'll admit, Donnie and I, there's a lot we don't share. But what we did share was the most important thing in both our lives, swimming. Don't you understand? The only thing I've ever wanted for him was to know the excitement, the feeling that you can't give a name to that comes with being a champion athlete. Yesterday, he was so close to that. Today, he's just another kid.
Well?
This morning at 6 o'clock, when I tried to get him up for his morning workout, I found the door to his room locked. He said he was going to sleep in. Now, this may sound strange to you, but my son has never slept in. Never in his life.
Sorry I'm late, but we'll have to do our best to catch up tomorrow. Oh, push on to chapters 21 and 22. And don't forget, The term reports are due 2 weeks from today.
Hey, man, don't let them hassle you. Just because you're a celebrity and all that doesn't mean they own you.
Thanks, Jace. Well, I guess you finally met my father, huh?
Well, it could have been under better circumstances, but yes, I met him. Tell me something, Donnie. How did he get the impression that I had something to do with what happened yesterday?
Well, he did, Mr. Dixon. If it weren't for you, I might never have done it.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, I guess I started growing up a little bit. Started thinking for myself, all the things we talked about.
We?
Well, not personally, I mean in class.
Oh. Are you saying that you, quit for me or for yourself?
Well, for me, of course.
Well, that's good.
You're not down on me for what I did. Because if you are, I'd probably go back to swimming right now.
No, I'm not down on you. But, Donnie, I think you're missing the point. If you really started thinking for yourself, then you should know exactly why you quit. I mean, it was your decision. So it doesn't really matter what your father or I think. You're the one who has to live with it.
I guess so. Mr. Dixon, do you have any idea what my life has been like up to now? Other kids have hobbies. I've had swimming. Other kids have dates. I've had swimming. Other kids have fathers. I've had a coach. Since I've been born, it's been like a full-time career instead of a sport.
But don't the rewards make up for most of that?
Rewards? Once you've seen your name in the paper a couple of times, so much for that thrill. At 20, when you're over the hill, if you're lucky, you become a coach. If you aren't, you open up a bar and hope that somebody gets around to naming a swimsuit for you. Some rewards. Well, yesterday, it hit me it didn't have to be like that. You know what I did this morning?
You slept in.
Yeah. I told you, huh? What a fantastic experience. Just lying there, getting my head together, just not even thinking, really. Just
lying there.
Yeah. A whole hour with nothing to do. Maybe that's what I've missed most, just being a plain, old, ordinary person for a change.
That why you quit?
I guess so. Big part of it, anyway.
Well, you better get going. It'll be late for class.
Thanks, Mr. Dixon. Camera club. Hey, what's the camera club?
Oh, it's easy. You take pictures, develop them yourself.
Now, what you do is you stake yourself out a corner downtown. You wait for somebody to come by and you say, hey, man, you want to buy some dirty pictures?
Hey, Bernie, that's really funny. I don't think it's funny.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what you really dig is the radio club.
I didn't know we had one. Doesn't know we have a radio club. Yeah, well, it's new this year. Hey, we need a new sportscaster. You know, Koufax did it when he retired. Dandy Don Meredith, Howard Cosell. Come here, let me show you.
Well, hi, everybody. Jason, I didn't know you had aspirations to be a thespian.
I don't, Miss Johnson. I just stopped by to give Chicken Little here, you know, some moral support. Come on, man, get up here and show these dudes your stuff.
That's okay, Miss Johnson. I can wait my turn.
No, come on, Larry. You and Pam start. Act 2, Scene 1, Oregon and Marianne. Okay?
Marianne.
Father.
Come here. I want to speak to you in confidence.
What are you looking for?
I want to see if there's any eavesdropping.
Hi.
There, for that's
Your
the kind
tryout?
of place they chose to hire.
Yeah, I came in earlier and picked up one of these.
Now, Marianne.
I've been practicing.
You've always had a
The
gentle
sign didn't say open tryouts.
Right. But I think I should tell you, just in case you get the part, it's going to take up an awful lot of your time. I mean, we start rehearsals at 3:30, and we don't finish until close to 6.
3:30, huh? I got camera club at 3. That's no sweat. Oh, I told Bernie I'd help him out in the radio station at 3:30. I don't suppose I could have
Now tell me.
a chance to come in at 4?
I'm afraid not.
Wait, I could do the radio thing at 12. And then all I'd have to do is think of another time to do the camera thing.
It sounds to me like you have a pretty full schedule already. Why don't you just wait till next semester to get into drama club?
Are you kidding, Miss Johnson? This is too good of a chance to pass up.
Look, I've already got it figured out. I'll take the pictures for Camera Club in the morning before school.
Fine with me. But isn't that going to be a drag getting up so early in the morning?
No, not for me. Till this week I was never up later than 6. Believe me, Miss Johnson, I'll never miss that extra hour in the sack.
Chester A. Arthur, Forgotten Patriot or Robber Baron. That an original title, Jason?
Sure, Mr. Dixon. Originally, it was on the book I found in the library.
Well, glad you could make it, Donnie. Oversleep?
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon. Here's my report.
Oh, Donnie, got a moment?
Can I wait till later, Mr. Dixon? And as I say, folks, just a small technical difficulty. No sportscaster.
Hit it, champ. You're on.
Do you think Donnie's little experiment at being his own man is kind of falling apart?
Not necessarily.
I don't know. I think somebody's got to give that boy a little guidance. Liz tells me that in 2 short weeks, his grades have dropped from a borderline B to a C. Now, that's not a reason to panic yet, but I have asked her to talk to him.
Well, she better make an appointment, because he's a very, very busy man.
Pete, why don't you talk to him? The way that boy feels about you, he'd probably do anything you say.
That's what I'm afraid of. That boy is so conditioned to people telling him what to do that his own freedom is the toughest thing he's ever had to face.
So what are you suggesting?
Wait it out. The only thing that I can do is be there when he falls on his face. Not necessarily to pick him up, but just to point out what he tripped over.
Clearly it tortures her to look at me. I'd better free her from the painful...
Hey. Larry. What are you doing my part for?
Keep on going, everybody.
Hey, Miss Johnson, what's going on?
Come here, I'd like to see...
I know I'm late. If that's it, I'm sorry.
I've replaced you in the play, Donnie. You're not just late. You're 15 minutes late. And it's not the first time.
Miss Johnson, I know my part better than anyone. You said so yourself. Come on, you can't just throw me out for being late a few times.
What if you happen to be 15 minutes late for a performance?
I just wouldn't be, that's all.
Look, those kids are here because they chose drama over any other activity they could be doing. Now, why are you here?
Because I've always wanted to act.
Then maybe you should have concentrated on this and given up your other activities.
Yeah, but I always wanted to do those other activities, too. There's no rule that says I can't be in more than one activity.
No. But you see, I have my rule, Donnie. It's not easy putting on one of these extravaganzas. And I have to expect everyone to be here at least on time.
Especially if you're afraid that they might quit at any moment.
Donnie, my decision wasn't in any way personal. I've been more lenient with you than I should have been. We all have. Just to show you that we weren't down on you. I'm sorry if I had hurt you like this.
Sure you are, Miss Johnson. The whole world loves a quitter, right? It's really fun to make them show how human they are.
Do I think?
Hey, Helen. Hey, what's happening?
Hi, Donnie. How come you're not in play practice?
Who needs it? Listen, everything's cool for tonight, isn't it?
Look, I don't want to get into a whole number, but let's forget about it, huh? You're a nice guy, but...
You're not still mad at me for standing you up last week, are you?
No, not so much that. It was the night you did show up. That's all you talked about was how busy you were. Look, I know you haven't had that much experience with girls. That can be a little dull. Listen, if you can't dig honesty, then you'll probably hate me for the rest of your life. But if you can, then maybe we can try it again sometime. Okay?
Oh, and now Koufax did it. Dandy Don Meredith. Howard Cosell. Now, how can you go wrong?
Donnie? Excuse me.
a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something.
Gang up on the quitter, right, Miss McIntyre? Teach him that he can't disappoint the sports fans of America.
What are you talking about?
I know my grades have slipped, but don't worry too much about it because I've learned my lesson.
What lesson? What happened?
Read what? I've been coming to the house 1-2 a day for the last 2 weeks. There ain't letters, Mr. Dixon. People comparing me to Benedict Arnold.
What do you mean?
Nothing, except I've learned my lesson. You and Dad were right. I had no business quitting swimming.
I never said that.
All right, so my dad said it then. What difference does it make? I don't have any other choice, so I'm going back to swimming.
Because it's a nice, easy retreat.
No. Because I'm a flop at everything else, just being a normal person.
Well, what you've been doing the past couple of weeks hasn't been exactly what you call living a normal life. It's been more like setting yourself up for a fall.
Mr. Dixon, I just wanted to do the things I couldn't do before.
All at one time?
All right, so maybe I overdid it a little.
What happened to that peaceful hour in the sack you enjoyed so much?
I don't know. Mr. Dixon, how do you just cool it when you've never done it before?
I think you start by liking yourself well enough to be alone. Like you did that first morning after you quit. Enough to laugh at yourself. You don't expect it all to happen at once.
Maybe it's already too late.
What do you mean?
Swimming is what I do best, and a person ought to do what he does best.
Two minutes flat. A few more days, it'll all be back. Just you watch. Hey, it feels good getting back in shape, right? Huh?
Great, Dad.
Okay, go take a hot one. Stay in there so long you can fall asleep standing up. Mr. Leroy? Hey! Actually, I just wanted to apologize to you for sounding off the other day over at Kaufman's office like I did.
Oh, that's all right. Forget it. I know how you felt. How's he coming along?
Who, Donnie? Great. Just recorded his best time all week. Hey, you want some tickets to Santa Clara? They're yours for the asking, as many as you want.
Maybe I'll take you up on it.
Good. You know, I never did get your first name. My name's Sid.
Pete.
Pete.
Yeah.
Pete is Donnie's teacher. Maybe you can see things more objectively than I can. I mean, those 2 weeks were murder, and I had time to think about a lot of things, and I'm not sure that I've been doing the right thing with Donnie and his career all these years.
Well, I'm afraid I can't answer that for you.
No, I suppose you can't. I don't know. My own dreams were so frustrated, I guess. See, my dad thought the only road to travel was law, and he pushed me so hard that I wound up doing what he least expected. I started training to be a champion swimmer. What I couldn't see at the time was that I started too late to ever be more than a bush leaguer. So now I put enough into law to get by, and I try to put into Donnie what I didn't get from my dad. Pete, he's not just a good swimmer. Maybe he's the best there ever was. He could win 3 gold medals in Munich and just own that town. I know he could.
Well, what happens when he's past his peak?
He'd never have to raise a finger. Endorsements alone would make him a rich man. Don't you see, the one irrefutable point is that swimming is what he does best.
Who says we have to do what we do best? When I was in school, I played football best. But I personally felt that I'd have a more satisfying life if I became a school teacher.
Well, maybe I ought to let him make up his own mind for a change.
He tried that, but he fell flat on his face.
Well, maybe it's time I started to help him explore his life and on his terms.
I'm sure that little plan ought to keep both of you busy for quite some time. See ya.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you keep looking, okay?
Yeah.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, how you doing?
Have you met him yet?
Met who, Alice?
I won't spoil it for you.
Mr. Kaufman in?
Yeah, Mr. Dixon, go right on in.
Well, your record certainly is very good. I don't think you have any problem adjusting.
Neither do I. Come in. Pete, I'd like you to meet Marshall Leeds. Mr. Dixon will be teaching you history.
Hello, how are you doing?
Marshall's father was just transferred here from, Medmenham?
Medmenham, sir. It's a village in England. Quite a famous place, really, because of the scandal there. I mean about the mad monks and that business about the Hellfire Club and so on.
Wasn't that quite a while ago?
200 years.
Well, I hope you enjoy it here.
Oh, I'm sure I shall. I simply hope I fit in.
Oh, you will.
Well, come on, we have to discuss your schedule and a few other things before you go to class.
Okay, ma'am.
See you in class.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck. He seems more mature than most of our kids. Still, it's kind of fun to hear that accent coming out of him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I want to talk to you, but let's walk. Every time I sit in this office, I feel like I'm missing all the action. Principals don't need offices. The school board should just give us each a pair of roller skates. I just kind of wanted you to keep a special eye on Jason's project.
The auction?
Yeah.
Okay, but why?
Well, this is the first time Jason's ever kind of originated and ran a whole project like this himself, you know?
Oh, he can handle it. He's matured quite a bit lately.
I agree. I'm just a little anxious about the school breakfast fund.
Well, if it's handled right, it could raise a lot of money.
Well, that's my point, you see. I'd like us to raise every dime that we can. I suspect most of the kids in that particular grammar school don't get too much breakfast most days.
Okay. I'll keep my eye on it, and who knows, maybe we can make an annual event out of it.
That's what Jason already asked me.
What'd you say?
Oh, I just gave him the principal's standard answer.
Which was?
Maybe.
Mr. Dixon, Marshall will be with you this period.
Well, thank you, Miss McIntyre.
See you later.
Class, this is Marshall Leeds. He's a transfer student. Marshall, there's an extra seat there. Make yourself at home. Okay, getting back to the subject. First duty of a politician is to get himself elected.
I think any politician who takes that attitude deserves not to be elected to anything.
Like Jason says, they tell the people what they want to hear.
Promises, promises.
Marshall, do you have any comment on that?
Well, of course, the head of our government is a queen, and she has no need to solicit votes. But I must say that any number of our politicians are hardly above the sort of badinage you mentioned.
Are you putting us on?
Putting you on? Oh, you mean sending you up?
That's what he was doing, sending us up.
Okay, class dismissed.
Come on, man.
I'm afraid I got off on a rather ragged start, sir.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Marshall. The kids always do that to a new student, sort of sending them up.
Right, I was telling you, dude. Hey, come here. Hey, old dude, I didn't know there were any black cats in England.
Oh, yes. Well, if you'd excuse me, I must have a look at my schedule.
Well, listen, I've got to get to the library. Now, what about the meeting on the auction? We better have one.
How about after lunch?
Sounds okay to me, old chap, but I wonder if I might first have a look at your schedule.
Oh, come on, Bernie, man. The dude can't help it because he talks funny.
Hello.
What's that, man?
Pork pie.
Is that for dessert?
Oh, no. A fancy pitted prunes for dessert. You see?
Uh-huh.
What's that you've got?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, really? I've never actually seen the two mixed. Oh, it does look rather squishy, doesn't it?
Does your old man talk like that?
My father? Oh, he thinks I'm rather slangy and all that.
Shoot.
Do forgive me, but where did you get your accent?
My accent?
Yes, your pattern of speech.
You think I talk funny?
Oh, well, not funny necessarily, but different. Well, certainly different from the way I speak, for instance.
Man, you some dude, I gotta tell you. People around here talk more like me than you.
You're right, of course. Perhaps I can learn to adapt. Pygmalion in reverse.
Pig what?
No matter. What is important is that I'm grateful to you for lunching with me. You're the first one to lend the hand of friendship.
Jason Allen, brother. Right.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh, man. I know we're in trouble. Look, the whole thing was my idea. And I'm still the auctioneer.
You can't auction off nothing.
We'd be better off auctioning off nothing than the stuff we got so far.
The question is, what do we do?
We've only got 2 weeks, and before you know it, it's gonna be here.
And if we have nothing worthwhile to auction, then there's no money for the breakfast fund.
I got around. I got to a lot of places.
Yeah, well, so did we.
Look, I told them what we were doing. They listened, maybe. And they said maybe. I came back in a few days. They act like they never seen me.
Tell me, the local merchants are reluctant to donate anything of value. Is that it?
Hey, man, you may not speak the language, but you sure got the picture.
Well, perhaps if someone in the business community were to ask them. Or others.
You got somebody in mind?
My father might be able to help.
What does your father do?
He's in the import business, actually. And he does have a rather wide range of connections.
Hey, man, it's a good thing you did come along.
And another thing occurred to me as I listened, which you might find of interest.
What else do you want to do?
Well, sir, at this school I last attended in England, we wanted to raise money for much the same purpose as you do. So we ran a fair.
You know, like booths, pie throwing, ring tosses?
Fortune telling?
Test the strength.
What do you think about all this, Jason?
Man, the whole thing is one big wild idea. We can raise a lot more money. The only thing I'm wondering about is what will Mr. Kaufman think?
My opinion is that he'll think it's a good idea.
Then okay. I'm gonna go ask him straight out.
Would you like me to come with you?
Okay, man. Hey, Bernie, where you been, man? Let's go to lunch.
I've been in the meeting, man. Where you been?
Ain't nobody told me about no meeting.
Gee, Jason, as Marshall'd say, with all those double negatives, no wonder you didn't know there was a meeting.
Listen, Bernie, man.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry, man. I thought you knew about the meeting.
No way, man.
Okay, hey, I can't have lunch with you anyway. Have lunch with Marshall. See you later.
Oh. Okay, man. Hey, what's the rush, man?
I got this thing to do for March. Hey, you want to help?
I don't want to help, man.
Okay, later.
Well, they say an ant can carry 25 times his own weight. You know, I had some reservations when they asked me for a full-fledged fair, but I'm beginning to think this thing's going to be a big success.
Marshall's made a big difference.
His father's made a big difference. I'm really impressed.
You do any bidding?
Maybe. See you around.
Need some help there?
No, I got it. I don't need no help.
How's it going?
It's going fine. Don't it look like it's going fine?
Yeah, it looks like it's going just great, Jason.
Then that's how it's going, Mr. Dixon. Great.
Hi, Pete.
Hi.
How's it going?
Better for some than for others?
Now, what does that mean?
Jason. Somehow he's wound up on the outside of the fair instead of the center of it.
Oh, boy, I think that somehow is Marshall Leeds.
Well, that's not fair. It was Jason's idea to help with the breakfast fund in the first place. It's very important to him.
May not be fair, but that's the way it's going.
Yeah, I saw some of the kids on that committee yesterday, and all I heard was Marshall this, Marshall that.
That's not good for Jason.
No, but it certainly is good for the fair.
Can't argue with that.
Do you think Jason can do it? I mean, has he ever auctioned anything off before?
Gee, I don't know.
We have a lot of really great things now, and the whole idea is to make the most money we can.
Well, who else could do it?
How about Marshall?
Maybe.
Okay, tomorrow we'll be discussing some of the lesser-known presidents like Arthur, Harrison, Fillmore, and Cleveland, so read ahead.
There's a perfectly marvelous story about Cleveland, but you've probably heard it.
Oh, what is it?
How he got stuck in a tub.
I never heard that.
It was the first modern bathtub in the White House, you see. And he was a terribly fat man. So when he let the water out of the tub, he was absolutely immobilized. The suction, you know.
This really happened?
Oh, yes. It was almost a national catastrophe. They had men standing about with sledgehammers and hacksaws, and the president swearing his head off at everyone, until someone thought of an absurdly simple solution. You just fill the tub up with water again and sort of floated him out.
What's funny about that?
It's a funny story.
How come you putting down our presidents, man? What about your nutty king chopping off people's head and jiving around?
We haven't done that sort of thing for years.
Well, we haven't had no president stuck in tubs for years.
Incidentally, as I remember, it wasn't Cleveland, it was Taft.
Oh, of course, Mr. Dixon. How stupid of me.
Yeah.
What's the matter with him?
I suppose he's worried about the auction, whether he can carry it up or not.
Well, let's get over to the fair side.
Yes, we'd better get those boots done.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Except I think we got to make the hole bigger for the pie throw so the guy can dodge better.
Oh, to make it harder for him to get hit.
Yeah, especially since it's going to be me.
Jason?
Mr. Dixon.
We're not working on the booths.
I don't know. I'm not interested like I was.
Not, huh?
No. I mean, it's not such a big deal. A bunch of kids get together. So what?
Jason, how can you say so what to raising money for the breakfast fund? It's too important.
Yeah, I know.
And it should be fun. Especially if you're going to raise the money by auction and you're going to be the auctioneer.
Maybe I will and maybe I won't. Depends on how I feel.
Remember, you're the one who got the ball rolling in the first place.
It's a lot bigger ball now, Mr. Dixon.
I think that's right. Oh, lift it up.
Oh, Jason, come to lend a hand?
What do you think?
Since you weren't here yesterday, I didn't know.
Well, I'm here today.
Good. We still have a lot to do, and tomorrow is the day.
I know. I picked the date before you came.
Yes?
What are you doing?
Revising the order of the boots.
And what's the matter with the way I had figured it?
Well, if you'd been at the meeting the other day or here to help us yesterday, you'd know.
Well, nobody told me about the meeting.
Everybody else knew about it.
Well, that's what I mean.
Come on, let's get cracking.
Hey, man, don't give me no orders.
I am not trying to give orders, Jason, but someone has to organize things.
The meeting was 2 days ago.
Yeah, and 2 days ago, y'all figured out y'all was getting a new auctioneer.
Who figured that?
I heard you at lunch.
I said that, Jason, but I was just talking. And it was just me, not everybody.
You said Marshall.
Okay, but it's like Fran said. We were just talking.
Come on, Jason.
Oh, I'm willing to come on, man. But I'm tired of everything around here being Marshall, Marshall, Marshall.
The fact remains, my friend, if it hadn't been for me, there would have been no fair.
That's right, Jason.
There wouldn't have even been an auction. No one would pay a farthing for the curiosities you had collected.
Look here, my man. Since you're such a big deal, you run the fair, man. You be the auctioneer. Don't count on me, because I'm split.
Perhaps I shouldn't have spoken that way. It really was his idea to begin with.
Well, he shouldn't have talked that way either.
I'll go and have a word with him. Perhaps I can put the whole thing right. Jason, you're making much more to this than need be.
Man, first you telling me what to do, now you trying to tell me how to feel, man. I know how I feel.
But I know how you feel, too.
Shoot you, don't!
Now you know how I feel.
You see, Jason has it in his mind that Marshall tried to do this whole thing deliberately. I mean, turn all of his friends against him and take the job of auctioneer.
Do you think that's true?
No, not entirely.
I think Marshall is just trying to make it with the kids.
Well, regardless of the reasons, we can't have mayhem around here. Look, Pete, I don't want to make a big official inquiry into this thing. I'd appreciate it if you just kind of look into it for me, huh?
Okay.
You gonna talk to Jason?
I don't think Jason is the one to talk to.
Of course I wanted to fit in. I made no secret of that right from the very beginning. But Jason had no right to hit me. None at all.
True. He had no right, but he did have provocation.
I made no attempt to come between him and his friends. They have minds of their own.
Yes, they do.
Jason wasn't able to carry on with the fair, and I was. That's not my fault.
Why do you think you were able to carry on with the fair?
In part because of my father's help. But I made no secret of that either.
All right.
In part because I've got a certain flair for these things, a certain ability.
You're a good executive. And also your background had a lot to do with it.
My background?
Yes. Where you lived, how you lived. Certain social advantages that other kids didn't have.
Agreed.
You see, Jason is the person who saw a need for something to be done.
Yes, he did.
Now, which is more important? The person who initiates a project or the person who carries it out?
Neither is more important.
That's my point. Because somewhere along the way, Jason got lost in the shuffle. Now, I know him. He's a warm, sensitive human being.
Well, he did hold out the initial hand to me.
Right.
What you're saying is, perhaps I should have been a little more sensitive. Perhaps I should have had less concern of my own position and more for Jason's.
Perhaps.
So, under the circumstances, the only honorable course of action for me is to withdraw from the fair.
Why should you withdraw? You worked hard on the fair.
I prefer it.
Well, maybe, but this...
I think it's important to give credit where credit is due. And I don't think any of us, or rather, let me speak for myself, I don't think I gave Jason his just due.
Well, why don't you just go talk to Jason and settle this thing between you?
I don't quite know what I could say to him at this point. And you are his friends.
Hey, man, what are you guys doing?
Let's go.
Where?
Don't ask any questions.
Why?
That's a question.
Hey, man, look, what do you got? Where am I going?
You're going, we're moving in the right direction.
Hey, look, I ain't going to no fair.
Listen, we're not taking you to the fair. We just want to show you something.
Right.
Hey, look, man, what's
Come on, don't.
What is it, man?
Look, man, what's going on, man? Will you tell me what's happening? What's happening? I don't know if I like it, man.
Why not?
I mean, what if the whole thing's a bust?
They haven't hit him yet?
No, they haven't, have they?
You know, I certainly thought the line to hit Bernie would be longer than that. Well, I'm glad none of the faculty has tried to hit him.
Oh, yes, that wouldn't be too good, would it?
Oh, Jason, you were a terrific auctioneer.
Thank you, Miss Johnson. You made a lot of money. A lot of kids are going to get breakfast on it.
Yeah, we made a lot of money.
Hey, man.
Let's call it even, shall we?
Cool.